Mr. Speaker, is the fear and panic created in the society, which hitherto is a peaceful society. What kind of relationship is the Ghana Armed Forces wanting to have with the civil population of Ghana? And don't forget, your uniform and your number of ammunitions will not be enough to contain a civilian rejection that enough is enough. So this is not a matter where apologies will be enough for these purposes. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm raising this so that the visibility of the military has been a matter that we have raised on the floor of this House, not forgetting the sacrilege of what happened here, even with the invasion of this House by military, the 9th of 7th January. Mr. Speaker, you see daily soldiers in uniform, police. We know their duty as defined by this Constitution. Maintenance of law and order is the preserve and mandate of the police. Territorial integrity for the Ghana Armed Forces. Where necessary, they can keep the peace, but they have no moral duty to undermine the peace and to abuse the rights and freedoms of innocent Ghanaians. This cannot continue, Mr. Speaker. So I'm urging you to request your committee on defense and interior, Mr. Speaker, to act expeditiously, if it means visiting WA, to apprise themselves of the development and the circumstances leading to. The impunity must stop, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I'm seeking your leave as I raise this matter so that we would ensure that we can continue to coexist. We don't want a situation, and the continuous conduct of the military is undermining civil and public confidence in our Ghana Armed Forces, who have a duty to protect us. Mr. Speaker, I should say this is the conduct of a few of them, fair to them. And I'm sure when the committee comes up, Mr. Speaker, I'll have opportunity to raise issue about the quality of the training of these men. Every trigger happy soldiers, every moment you are happy. What kind of training is that? So, Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting that the Committee on Defense and Interior, under your guidance, takes up this matter, because we risk cracking the civil-military relations, which remains fundamental for the continuous peace and security and stability of our country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I left Parliament and then we got ourselves cocooned in the facility pursuing some business. And I didn't come out until after 12:30 a.m. Today. So the issue that the leader of the minority is raising, unknown to me, I heard from him when we had the preceding meeting this morning. Otherwise, I have not heard at all. I have not witnessed it. The Speaker, as I said, we got ourselves trapped in a room pursuing some other business. So this might have happened on my blind side. I want to believe that the minority leader is raising this in his capacity as a member of Parliament, performing his representational function, not only as a minority leader, but as a member of Parliament. The Speaker is talking to matters that, as we heard him, occurred in WA. The member for WA is not in the chamber. But I want to believe that the minority leader is adequately and sufficiently informed about the matter he's speaking to. And I think the statement can be accommodated under Order 72 which relates to matters of urgent public importance. Mr. Speaker, the gravamen of the statement that he's just made certainly can be considered as a matter of urgent public importance. I want to believe that he might have discussed the terms with you for your consideration. And Mr. Speaker, our orders provide that when such a statement is made, it shall be commented on by honorable colleagues for a limited duration of time. I'm happy that the minority leader ended on the note that the Speaker may refer further investigation of this matter to the Committee on Defense and Interior. I think it's most appropriate, because for now, the minority leader is not feeding us with the full particulars of the incident. And I'm not too sure that any of us will be sufficiently clothed with the facts of the matter. We may be indulging in speculations if we begin to comment, which may not do justice to the issue at stake. The leader is telling us about lawlessness that is being led by the military. The statement that he himself made was to the effect that somebody snatched a phone from a man in mufti. It does appear that that man in mufti perhaps was a military person, and that attracted the response. Mr. Speaker, we must admit to ourselves that there's creeping lawlessness, I wouldn't say led by the military, but led by us, civilians, by citizens of this country. Mr. Speaker, we must own up to that. That increasingly we are seeing symptoms of discipline in the society breaking down. And that cannot be happy news for anybody. We talk about what we see during electioneering campaign periods. Elections are over. And my colleague mentioned Kejetia. Kejetia is notorious for such activities. And whether Kejetia is in Wa or in Dunkwa or Kumasi. Kejetia, so many places have Kejetia. Dunkwa has Kejetia. And when you go there, life in the evening is not sound at all. All manner of pickpocketing going on there, just as happens in Kejetia in Kumasi or Kejetia in Wa. Mr. Speaker, we must live up to our responsibilities. And I believe the security forces, especially the police, must be much more up and doing to respond timeously to these developments. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Defense is here because it relates to the armed forces. Perhaps he may have a word or two by way of speaking to the matter. But I agree with the minority leader that all said and done, the relevant committee, in this case, the Committee on Defense and Interior, I don't know whether we will task the entire committee, but perhaps the committee itself could form a subcommittee within the committee to undertake it because of the urgency of the matter. They may have to visit the scene of the incident. And Mr. Speaker, that would really be in tandem with Article 1033 of our Constitution, which provides, Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, want to read, that committees of Parliament shall be charged with such functions, including the investigation and inquiry into the activities and administration of ministries and departments as Parliament may determine. And such investigation and inquiries may extend to proposals for legislation. Who knows that after the inquiry and investigation, the reports that will ensue from them perhaps will help us to shape the activities and control the activities of the military in such usual times. The military, per Article 210 clause 3, shall be equipped and maintained to perform their role of defense of Ghana, as well as such other functions for the development of Ghana as the President may determine. Have we done that? what other functions does the president determine for the military to perform, apart from the defense of the territorial integrity of this country? Perhaps we ourselves should also accept that going forward, we've not responded to the imperatives of Article 210, clause 3. But let's leave it to the committee to conduct this investigation and report to us. Mr. Speaker, given the exigency of the time, I believe that we will have to give them a limited time. I would propose that not more than 2 weeks, they should investigate and submit a report to us. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the space granted.
Will the Minister of Finance Defense wish to comment on this matter? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to find out whether you wanted people to contribute before me, or I should.
No, we agreed that if you wish to comment, we will give you the opportunity after that.
Yes. It's not a debate.
Yes, Honorable Minister, you may now make your comment.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, and let me thank my honorable colleague for raising this matter. I had cause to call him to consult this morning over this matter because of the sensitive nature of the issue. As he said, I got wind of the matter whilst I was in Parliament here yesterday in the evening. I quickly called both the regional minister, who was in Accra but on the way to Wa, and also the commanding officer of the unit to find out exactly what the issues were and whether they had officially asked the military to go to town, which they said no. Mr. Speaker, I also got in touch with a member of parliament for West Central, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, who was very helpful in trying for both of us to find a resolution immediately to quell the situation. And so I can report, Mr. Speaker, that yes, it's true. That incident happened yesterday. The military immediately issued a statement this morning condemning what has happened and promising to discipline the officers who did that. They have also sent the Chief of Army Staff, because of the seriousness with which we view this matter, to go and meet the people of the region at the Yana Palace. I believe they are currently at the Yana Palace, the Wana Palace, to first of all apologize to the people for what happened. The military's, my brief on the military is that they've had very good standing relationship with the people of Wa in particular, and the people have been very, very helpful in their fight against terrorism and all the things that have gone. So this incident to them is really unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened because, one, it was not sanctioned by the regional minister. It wasn't sanctioned by the commanding officers. Neither was it sanctioned by anybody in Accra. It was a spontaneous reaction of some young men and women in the armed forces who moved to town to do that with some trigger they felt was the issue. As the man said, he says that it's true that the trigger was that the military got a report from one of their colleagues that he was hijacked at a knife point in their yellow trucks and beaten, and his mobile phones and money seized. And based on that triggered them to go and misbehave. So the military used these words that what they did was unprofessional conduct. If you look at the statement they released, they themselves accepted that it was an unprofessional conduct, and they are going to quickly discipline them. I met a CDS and my deputy and the military high command who were in Accra this morning over the incident, as the Chief of Army Staff was on his way to go and immediately make sure that there's no issue. Mr. Speaker, I will not stand in your way if Parliament decides to send a committee to go investigate. It's just that the ministry has quickly also put a small committee from national security, from the defense intelligence, and another person to go there and find out exactly whether there are other remote causes. Because it is simply not a military culture to move to town to molest people. It's not something I've heard before. I know there are several incidents where military men have gone to town to do that, but it is all generated because of other factors. So for that to have happened, I still don't understand. I can't understand why that has happened. So I want them to investigate to the bottom of the matter and find out what really is the problem. Because if we sweep matters behind the carpet, it can create a bigger problem for us. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't have a problem if you decide to do that, but we have already instituted this kind of measures to ensure that that will happen. The military will apologize to the people of Wa for that, and we have identified the people who have been hurt, and we will take care of them as well. I just wanted to assure the people of Ghana like that. But I also want to say that I want to plead with the people of Ghana, particularly my colleagues here, that we should be a bit tempered in matters like this. I just want to plead with you that we should be tempered in our utterances in matters like this when it comes to issues like this. We are building a society, we are building a democracy, and the military are part of that. I can say, Mr. Speaker, that the military are an integral part of holding the democracy that we have. We actually set up and increased the 10th Mechanized Battalion in Wa because of the problems that are coming from the north. Otherwise, in those days, we didn't have military people in that area at all. They used to be in Tamale and go and do that. So it's a new atmosphere that both must adjust. They may not be like Accra or Wa, Tamale, or maybe Secondary Takoradi, where they have already adjusted. But I want to pray that this will continue. I want our history to guide us. Like I said, we are building a democracy and we are building a country. I just want our history to guide us as we continue to comment on some of these things. But like I said, I will not stand on the way of Parliament if Parliament decides that they want to investigate this matter and help us make sure that we reform the military that we have. And I agree perfectly that if there is a way to ensure that the military is not the first point of call when there's an issue in terms of civilian control, I'll be very, very excited. I'll be very excited that the military should not be the first point of call when there is an issue when we are dealing with the civilians. We should be able to help the police be able to do that and do that effectively. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much. When the report comes and when our findings are also ready, we'll make it public to the people and make all the measures that we are going to take public to the people of Ghana for them to know what has happened. Our aim is to ensure that that never gets repeated again. You cannot say that things like this will never happen, because even the teeth and the tongue, you may one day have that kind of problem. But we are insisting that we don't want that thing to ever happen again, as much as possible. So whatever we all do as a body in Parliament and as a country to ensure that we reform it, not to get these things to happen, I'll be very much interested in that. And I want to support my colleagues to be able to do that. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members.
Yes, sir.
As proposed by the minority leader and seconded by the majority leader, I direct the Committee on Defence and Interior to proceed to investigate, collect and collate the facts and report to the House within 4 weeks. I so direct. At the commencement of public business, item number 7, presentation of papers. Honourable Majority Leader, are we ready to do the presentations of the papers listed in item 7?
Mr. Speaker, we can do the presentation of the papers. We do the presentation of the papers to see whether, after we finish, the minister responsible for items 8 through to through to 21 will be available. If you are not available, then we can terminate the proceedings for the day. So in the meantime, we want to relate to item 7.
Very well. Item 7A, by the Minister for Greater Accra Region.
The Speaker, items A, B, C relate to just presentation of papers. And since the table of office informs that the documents are ready, I could just present them on behalf of the
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader, the Majority Leader wishes to present on behalf of them.
Speaker, there is no objection except that I'll happily second a motion for adjournment after this. Thank you.
Very well. A, Honorable Majority Leader.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council for the year 2019.
The report is duly laid. It's referred to the Committee on Local Governance to consider and report. Item 7B.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana India Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT for the year 2020.
The report is due, so the paper is duly laid. It's referred to the Committee on Communications and Digitalization to consider and report. Item C.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Center for Plant Medicine Research, Mampon Akuapem, for the year 2020.
The paper is duly presented. It's referred to Committee on Health to consider and report. Are we ready to do the motions?
Speaker, the chairman of the committee, unfortunately, is not with us, and the minister responsible is also not here. I'm told he's involved in some other discussion at the ministry, so he's not able to be here with us the next 1 hour. And because today is Friday, I guess we may have to adjourn proceedings and wait until Tuesday. Speaker, upon adjournment, just a little bit of information to colleagues, so we can have a joint caucus meeting just for 5 minutes before we leave. In that regard, Speaker, I want to move that this House takes adjournment until Tuesday next week at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I beg to move.
Yes, Honorable Minority.
Speaker, I beg to second the motion for adjournment. Thank you.
Honorable members, the motion for adjournment has been moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye. All against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned to Tuesday, the 6th of July, 2021, at 10 o'clock, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.